Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. I was sitting at my computer, sorting out my business, when my phone rang. An unfamiliar number flashed on the screen. With a sigh, I picked it up, expecting another spam call. "Hello? Your wife is cheating on you," came a male voice, husky and confident. I froze, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. "Who is this?" I demanded, my heart pounding. "You don't need to know who I am. You just need to know that it's true," he replied calmly. My mind raced. Kate, my wife, and I had been married for 7 years. We had our ups and downs, but I never doubted her fidelity. I dropped the call, but I could no longer escape the haunting sense of unease that settled in my gut. Trying to shake off the feeling, I attempted to return to my work, but it was impossible to focus. The words of the mysterious caller echoed in my mind. Who would do something like this? And why? Minutes felt like hours. The phone rang again. The same number. "What do you want?" I barked into the phone. "Just thought you should know the truth," the man said, unperturbed. "They've been meeting at the Marriott, room 312. "Stop calling me," I said, my voice shaking. I ended the call and sat back, breathing heavily. I had no proof, but the seed of doubt had been planted. Over the next few days, he called several more times, each time speaking more and more frankly about their intimate relationship. He described details only someone close to her could know. The color of her favorite dress, the way she laughed at his jokes, the perfume she wore. I couldn't ignore it any longer. I decided to follow up. That evening, I told Kate I had a late meeting and watched her reaction. She was calm, unconcerned. Was she a master of deception, or was I becoming paranoid? I drove to the Marriott, parked across the street, and waited. It was a long shot, but I had to know. Hours passed, and then I saw her. Kate, my Kate, walking into the hotel with a man I didn't recognize. They laughed, holding hands as they disappeared through the entrance. My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. The result was devastating. It was true. I realized that I could not forgive, and my revenge would be brutal. To begin with, I hired a private investigator. I needed more than just my word against hers. I needed concrete evidence. The investigator, a grizzled man named Sam, assured me he'd get what I needed. Days turned into weeks. Sam delivered. Photos, videos, hotel receipts, even recorded conversations. Kate was living a double life, and I had the proof. One evening, I confronted her. I waited until she came home from one of her so-called meetings, and laid out all the evidence on the dining table. "What's this?" she asked, her face going pale. "Proof," I said quietly. "Proof that you've been lying to me. Cheating on me." She stammered, trying to deny it, but the evidence was irrefutable. She broke down, confessing everything. She begged for forgiveness, but I had none to give. "I trusted you," I said, my voice cold. "And you threw it all away." "I'm sorry, John. Please, let's work through this," she pleaded, tears streaming down her face. I shook my head. "No, Kate. There's no going back from this." My revenge began subtly. I made sure her life would unravel piece by piece. At work, I leaked anonymous tips about her inappropriate behavior. She lost her job within a month. Her friends began to distance themselves, as whispers of her infidelity spread. I canceled her credit cards, drained our joint accounts, and changed the locks on our house. By the end of it, Kate was a shadow of her former self. She had nothing left. I had broken her life. As I stood amidst the wreckage of our marriage, I felt no satisfaction. Only a hollow emptiness where love once resided. My revenge was complete, but at what cost? The phone rang again. I picked it up, knowing exactly who it was. "Are you satisfied now?" the husky voice asked. I paused, staring out the window into the dark night. "No," I replied, "but it's done." The line went dead, and I was left alone with the consequences of my actions. The true story of our shattered lives was just beginning, and the intrigue of what drove us to this point would unravel in the chapters to come. The days following Kate's downfall are quiet, but the silence is deceptive. It's the calm before a storm I can feel building. I'm at my desk, attempting to immerse myself in work when there's a knock on my office door. "John, you got a minute?" It's Mark, my business partner. He's a solid guy, someone I've known since college. "Sure, come in," I reply, leaning back in my chair. Mark steps in, closing the door behind him. He looks concerned. "I heard about you and Kate." "I'm sorry, man. How are you holding up?" I shrug, trying to appear nonchalant. "I'm managing. It's been rough, but I'll get through it." He nods, but his eyes say he doesn't believe me. "Listen, if you need anything, just let me know. We've got your back." "Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it." He leaves, and I return to my work, but my mind is elsewhere. Later that evening, I'm at a bar downtown, nursing a drink. The place is dimly lit, with the soft murmur of conversations and clinking glasses filling the air. I'm lost in thought when a familiar face slides into the seat next to me. "Hey, John," Samantha says, her voice soft. Samantha, or Sam as she's known, is my private investigator. She's a tough, no-nonsense woman who doesn't waste time on pleasantries. "Sam," I nod. "What brings you here?" She orders a drink and turns to face me. "I've got more information." "About your wife?" I raise an eyebrow. "More? I thought we were done with this." She shakes her head. "It's not just about the affair. There's something else. Something bigger." I lean in, intrigued. "Go on." She pulls out her phone, showing me a series of photos and documents. "Kate's been meeting with some questionable people. I think she's involved in something illegal. These guys aren't just her lovers, they're dangerous." My heart sinks. What kind of danger are we talking about? Drug trafficking, money laundering. You name it, they're into it. And your wife seems to be in the middle of it all. I stare at the photos, my mind racing. This changes everything. My revenge was about personal betrayal, but now it's becoming something much darker. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" "I wanted to be sure," Sam replies. "Now I am." "Thanks, Sam. Keep digging. I need to know everything." She nods and leaves me to my thoughts. The bar feels colder now, and the weight of this new revelation presses down on me. I drain my drink and head home. The next day, I'm back at my office, trying to focus on work when Mark bursts in, looking frantic. "John, we've got a problem." "What is it?" I ask, already feeling the tension. "Kate's been arrested. It's all over the news. They're saying she's involved in a drug ring." I feel the blood drain from my face. "What? How?" "Someone tipped off the police. They raided her apartment and found drugs, money, everything." I sit back, stunned. This can't be happening. Mark looks at me, worry etched on his face. "Are you okay?" I nod slowly. "I will be. I need to handle this." As Mark leaves, my phone buzzes. It's Sam again. "John, I think you should come to the station. There's more you need to know." I arrive at the police station, the place buzzing with activity. Sam meets me at the entrance. This way, she says, leading me to a small interrogation room. Inside, a detective waits, a serious expression on his face. Mr. Reynolds, I'm Detective Harris. We need to talk about your wife. I sit down, feeling the weight of the situation. What's going on? We've been investigating Kate for months. She's deeply involved with a criminal organization. We have enough evidence to put her away for a long time. I nod, absorbing the information. What do you need from me? We need your cooperation. Anything you know about her activities, anyone she's been in contact with, it could help us build a stronger case. I agree, providing as much information as I can. As I leave the station, my mind is a whirlwind. This isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about survival. Back home, I pour myself a drink and sit in the dark, contemplating my next move. My phone buzzes again. It's the same unknown number. Enjoying the show? The husky voice taunts. Who are you? I demand, my anger boiling over. Just someone who knows the truth. You should thank me. I did you a favor. I grit my teeth. This isn't over. Oh, I know. It's just beginning, he replies before hanging up. The line goes dead, and I'm left with a sense of impending doom. The intrigue of this twisted game is far from over, and I'm caught in the middle. As I stare into the darkness, I realize I need to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The following morning, the air is thick with tension. I barely slept, and the exhaustion weighs on me as I sit in my office. My mind churns through the revelations of the past few days. Kate's arrest, the mysterious calls, the criminal connections, it's too much to process. The door swings open, and Sam strides in, her expression grim. We need to talk, she says, closing the door behind her. What now? I ask, rubbing my temples. I did some digging, and I found something disturbing. Kate's not just a pawn in this game, she's been a key player. There are transactions in her name, large sums of money moving through accounts she controlled. I stare at her, disbelief mingling with anger. You're saying she's been in on this from the start? Sam nods. It looks that way. But there's more. I found out who's been calling you. His name is Victor Malanov, a known associate of the cartel Kate's been involved with. Victor Malanov. The name rings a bell, but I can't place it. Why is he targeting me? Sam sits down, leaning forward. It's not just about you. He's using you to get to Kate. They've had a falling out, and he's using you as leverage. A mix of fear and determination courses through me. What do we do? We need to confront him. Find out what he wants and how deep this goes. But we have to be careful. Victor is dangerous. The idea of facing a criminal like Victor sends a shiver down my spine, but I know it's the only way to get answers. Where do we find him? Sam pulls out her phone, showing me an address. He operates out of a warehouse on the outskirts of town. I have a plan, but it's risky. I'm in, I say, my resolve hardening. Let's do this. Later that night, we drive to the warehouse. The place is dark and ominous, with a few dim lights casting eerie shadows. Sam and I step out of the car, our breaths visible in the cold night air. Stay close, Sam whispers, her hand on her concealed weapon. We don't know what we're walking into. We approach the entrance, and Sam picks the lock with practiced ease. Inside, the warehouse is a maze of crates and machinery. We move silently, our footsteps barely audible. A voice breaks the silence. I knew you'd come. Victor steps out from the shadows, a sinister smile on his face. He's tall and imposing, with a cold, calculating gaze. Victor Malanov, I presume, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. He nods, his smile widening. And you must be John. I've been expecting you. What do you want? I ask, cutting to the chase. Victor chuckles. Straight to the point. I like that. I want Kate. She betrayed me, and I can't let that go unpunished. She's already in jail, I say, my anger rising. You've got what you wanted. Victor shakes his head. No, John. I want her to suffer, just like she made me suffer. And you're going to help me. Why would I do that? I retort, my fists clenching. Because if you don't, I'll make your life a living hell. I know things about you, about your business. It would be a shame if something happened to it. I glance at Sam, who nods subtly. We're on the same page. What do you need from me? I ask, my voice tight. Simple, Victor says, his eyes gleaming with malice. You're going to find a way to get her out of jail. And then, you're going to bring her to me. My mind races. This is madness. But if I refuse, Victor could destroy everything I've worked for. How do I know you won't just kill us both? Victor steps closer, his breath hot against my face. You don't. But you don't have a choice, do you? I swallow hard, hating the position I'm in. Fine. I'll do it. But if you double-cross me, I swear. Save your threats, Victor interrupts, turning away. You have 3 days. Don't disappoint me. As we leave the warehouse, Sam grabs my arm. Are you crazy? We can't trust him. I know, I reply, my mind racing. But we need to play along for now. We'll figure out a way to turn the tables. Back at my house, we sit at the kitchen table, a map of the city spread out before us. We need to get Kate out without raising suspicion, Sam says, tracing routes with her finger. And we need to make sure Victor doesn't get what he wants, I add, my mind working overtime. We need a plan. Over the next few hours, we hatch a scheme. It's risky and involves a lot of moving parts, but it's our best shot. By dawn, we're exhausted but determined. The next day, I visit Kate in jail. She looks haggard, her eyes red from crying. John, what are you doing here? I need to talk to you, I say, keeping my voice low. We're getting you out of here, but you have to trust me. She looks at me, a mix of hope and fear in her eyes. What's going on? There's no time to explain, I reply. Just be ready. We're going to fix this. As I leave the jail, my phone buzzes. It's Victor. Tick-tock, John. Time is running out. I hang up, my resolve hardening. This is it. It's all or nothing. The night of the breakout, everything is in place. Sam and I wait in a van outside the jail, our hearts pounding. You ready? She asks, her eyes fixed on the entrance. Ready, I reply, gripping the steering wheel. Moments later, a small explosion rocks the side of the building, creating a distraction. Guards rush towards the noise, and in the chaos, Sam slips inside. Minutes feel like hours as I wait, anxiety gnawing at me. Finally, Sam emerges with Kate, who looks bewildered but unharmed. They climb into the van, and we speed away, disappearing into the night. As we drive, Kate turns to me. What's the plan? I glance at her, determination in my eyes. We're going to finish this. Once and for all. The warehouse looms ahead, and I park the van, turning to Sam and Kate. Stay close. We don't know what he's planning. We enter the warehouse, finding Victor waiting, a smug smile on his face. You actually did it. I'm impressed. Let her go, I say, my voice firm. We're done here. Victor laughs, shaking his head. Oh, John. It's not that simple. He snaps his fingers, and men emerge from the shadows, guns drawn. I'm afraid you're not going anywhere. Panic surges through me, but I keep my voice steady. What now? Now, Victor says, stepping closer, you pay for your betrayal. Before I can react, gunfire erupts. Sam dives for cover, returning fire with precision. I grab Kate, pulling her to safety behind a stack of crates. Stay down. I shout, my heart pounding. The gunfight rages on, bullets flying and crates splintering. I catch a glimpse of Sam, her face a mask of concentration as she takes out Victor's men one by one. Finally, the warehouse falls silent, smoke and dust hanging in the air. Victor lies on the ground, clutching his shoulder, blood seeping through his fingers. It's over, I say, stepping out from behind the crates. Victor glares at me, his eyes filled with hatred. You think you've won? I nod. Yeah, I do. With a final look of contempt, Victor loses consciousness. Sam approaches, her gun still drawn. He's not dead, but he won't be causing trouble for a while. Kate stands, trembling. What now? I take a deep breath, the weight of the past few weeks crashing down on me. Now, we start over. Together. As we leave the warehouse, the first light of dawn breaks over the horizon. It's a new day, and though the road ahead is uncertain, I know we can face it. Together. The intrigue of our ordeal has just begun to unravel, and the true depth of the conspiracy remains to be discovered. But for now, we have each other, and that's enough. The following weeks are a blur of legal battles and media frenzy. Kate's arrest and the subsequent revelation of her involvement with the cartel make headlines, and our lives are turned upside down. Yet, amidst the chaos, we cling to the hope of a fresh start. One evening, as we sit in our living room, the tension between us is palpable. John, we need to talk, Kate says, her voice trembling. There's something I haven't told you. I turn to her, wary. What now, Kate? Haven't we been through enough? She looks down, tears welling in her eyes. It's about Victor. There's more to the story than you know. My heart sinks. What do you mean? Kate takes a deep breath. Victor and I, we weren't just involved in the cartel. We were working undercover for the FBI. It was all part of a sting operation to bring down the cartel from the inside. I stare at her, disbelief and anger mingling. You're telling me this now? After everything? I couldn't say anything before, she pleads. It was too dangerous. But now that Victor is in custody, it's over. We're safe. My mind races, trying to process this new information. So, all those calls, the threats. Victor went rogue, she interrupts. He started using the operation for his own gain. When he found out I was working against him, he tried to use you to get to me. The pieces start to fall into place, but there's still so much that doesn't make sense. Why didn't the FBI step in sooner? They couldn't, she says, her voice breaking. It was too risky. We had to wait for the right moment. The anger I've been holding onto for so long begins to thaw, replaced by a mix of relief and confusion. So what happens now? Now, she says, her eyes meeting mine, we rebuild. The FBI is offering us protection, a chance to start over somewhere new. Just as I start to absorb this, my phone buzzes. It's a message from Sam, we need to meet. Urgent. I show Kate the message. I'll be back. We need to figure out what's going on. I meet Sam at a secluded park, the evening air cool and crisp. She looks tense, her eyes scanning the area. What's going on, Sam? I ask, my anxiety spiking. There's something you need to see, she says, handing me a folder. This just came in from my contact at the FBI. I open the folder, my heart pounding. Inside are documents detailing a new development. Victor has escaped custody, and there are indications he's coming after us. We need to move fast, Sam says, her voice urgent. Victor won't stop until he gets what he wants. Which is what? I ask, feeling a sense of dread. You, she says. He blames you for everything that's gone wrong. He wants revenge. We rush back to my house, the reality of the situation hitting me hard. Kate is waiting, her face pale. What did Sam say? Victor escaped, I tell her. We need to leave. Now. We grab what we can, packing hurriedly. As we're about to leave, the door bursts open, and Victor stands there, a gun in his hand. You're not going anywhere, he snarls, his eyes wild with anger. Victor, don't do this, Kate pleads. It's over. The FBI is closing in. You won't get away. Shut up, he yells, aiming the gun at her. This is all your fault. You betrayed me. I step forward, trying to keep my voice steady. Victor, think about what you're doing. There's no way out of this for you. You don't get to tell me what to do, he screams, his finger tightening on the trigger. In a blur of motion, Sam moves, tackling Victor to the ground. The gun goes off, the sound deafening in the confined space. Kate screams, and I rush forward, helping Sam disarm Victor. The room is chaos, but we manage to subdue him, tying him up with whatever we can find. Sam checks Kate, who's shaken but unharmed. It's over, I say, the reality of our victory sinking in. The FBI arrives shortly after, taking Victor into custody for good. As the dust settles, Kate and I hold each other, the weight of the past few weeks finally lifting. The next few days are a whirlwind of debriefings and plans for our new life. The FBI arranges for us to enter witness protection, giving us a chance to start fresh. Our new life begins in a small town far from the chaos we've left behind. It's quiet, peaceful, and for the first time in a long time, we feel safe. Kate and I work on rebuilding our relationship, finding solace in the simple things. One evening, as we sit on our porch, watching the sunset, Kate turns to me. Thank you, John. For standing by me through all of this. I smile, squeezing her hand. We've been through hell, but we made it. Together. As the sun dips below the horizon, I feel a sense of closure. The intrigue and danger of our past are behind us, and we can finally look forward to a future filled with hope and possibility. Just as we think we've escaped the past, a shadow falls over our porch. A figure steps out of the darkness. It's Sam, her expression serious. There's something you need to know, she says, her voice tense. What is it? I ask, feeling a sense of foreboding. Victor wasn't the mastermind, she says. There's someone else. Someone higher up in the cartel. And they're still out there. The revelation hits me like a punch to the gut. Our ordeal isn't over. The danger still looms. As I look at Kate, I see the determination in her eyes. We've faced the worst and survived. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. Our story isn't over. It's just beginning.